Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Miami. You know, we normally do this on Thursday, but I decided I think we should change it to Fridays, just because Thursdays have become so packed with the Real Housewives of Orange County, and now one of my new, well, not one of my new favorite shows, but one of the new shows that we're starting to recap here on the channel, Married at First Sight. So if you missed our recap of Married at First Sight, this week's new episode premiered, then be sure to check out that recap here on the channel, but also check out the news that I just dropped. Mary Cosby quit the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and did not show up at the reunion. Check out that video. Also, does Peter Thomas owe $450,000 in back taxes? And could Cynthia be liable? Be sure to check out those videos and everything else that you missed this week. You know, I'm rolling out all kinds of content on multiple platforms, so be sure you're following us on those platforms as well. Guys, let's get into this Real Housewives of Miami, because I already see in my TikTok chat, some people love it, some people are not. Let's get our vibes up first. You know, it's Friday. It's Friday, y'all. I know a lot of people have been working from home, so the days are just kind of molding and melting together, but it's Friday. So let's get our dance moves on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent content like hot topics and, of course, reality TV recaps and dance. We dance here. I found this vibe right before the live, y'all, and now I'm out of breath, but I found a song that I can jig to and I can shimmy to. Woo! That's just a sign that I need to get back into my workout routine. After this, I'm going to work out. We will be recapping the Sex and the City reboot and Just Like That, the latest episode. And we have a lot to unpack there. We're going to do that later today at about 8 p.m. Eastern. The link is already available. If you're part of our Texan community, then you already received the notification. Set your reminders, guys, and join our Texan community at TextKempire.com. So it seems as if we have mixed reviews. So I have to start this live out, since we're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. If you had to rate this episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? Well, based off the fight, the cringeworthy fight at the end, I have to rate this at least an 8. At least an 8. And Alexia is carrying this season. I have to agree that some of the other ladies, there's not a lot happening. But last week, we had the fight between Guerdy and Adriana. And I felt like that was a really good episode. And I did not expect Martina to step out the way that she did. And now I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. All right, look at the ratings. 10, 8, 9. Ali said 6, but still not bad. TJ says 8.5, 8.25. I love how you guys get into the points here. 8.7. Okay, you could just give them a 9, MBK. You couldn't just give them a 9. That's very close to a 9. Let's round up with that one. 6, 10, solid 7. Okay. So far, you guys are okay. 9, 8. TikTok, how would you rate them? Guys, we are live on multiple platforms, including my TikTok. Head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. That way I'll be able to see your comments consistently. Or you can just continue to watch here. We are also live on the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow me on those platforms because we will be doing exclusive content there as well. Yes, I agree. Someone Lacey says Alexia is bringing it. Speaking of Lacey, thank you so much for the super chat, Lacey. Shimmy. Lacey says, I needed your upbeat energy today, Kempire. I'm going through an awful breakup, and it's been a roller coaster. Lacey, I understand. Trust me, I understand. I think, well, not all of us, but those of us that have been through breakups before, you have to go through it. You have to have that. It's sort of like when you lose someone in your life, like when someone dies, it's this whole process of anger, sadness, and then confidence, and then all of a sudden you're back to the sadness. So go through it, allow yourself to go through it, but trust and believe. When they say there are many fish in the sea, no, there really are. There are plenty of people out there for you. So let's talk about the housewives and forget about our problems, okay? Because they have a lot of problems going on. Again, guys, if you missed thank you so much for the super chat, Lacey. If you missed the videos that I did on Mary Cosby, be sure to check that out on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. I did, of course, as always, here on TikTok, an under a minute, sometimes under 15-second hot topics and recap. So be sure to check that out and follow me on TikTok. Let's get into this recap. So Martina and Julia discussed her party. And I have to say, Julia is a beautiful woman. I get what Martina sees, and she's a beautiful woman. Personality-wise, she may be a little too flirtatious, a little too handsy with Adriana. And I think Martina puts up with it because she's a beautiful woman, to be honest with you. But I don't like to see where this is going. I don't like to see where this is going, this flirtation between Adriana and Julia, because I feel like it's more than flirtation, right? Because it's not just flirtation. At her birthday party, Julia was kissing her on the cheeks, like rubbing her feet. So it's a little bit more than flirtation. Flirtation is like, oh, jokes and winks, but not touching and massaging your feet. And Martina's like, you haven't massaged my feet. I would love you to massage my feet. But Martina was a star last week. This week, Martina, we only got a little bit of Martina, but last week, Martina was everything for me. In the replay of it, I was like, and shout out to my TikTok fam. We rewatched the last parts of last week's episode together. And of course, we watched this week's episode together. And so many of you have been hitting me up about Project Runway and the special Real Housewives edition that they did this week. I think tomorrow we will go live in the afternoon to recap it. If you want that, let me know in the comment section and in the chat. I think we might. I used to love Project Runway. I just thought it kind of fell off from watching it. But anyways, back to this. Let's talk about this episode. So Martina and Julia discussed the fight that happened between Guerdy and Adriana. I think Julia is very good friends with Adriana. However, she understands where Guerdy was coming from and that she's trying to tell her side of the story. Okay. Guerdy goes out with her hot husband, her hot fireman husband that she married, her high school sweetheart. That's her high school sweetheart. But forget all of that part. When Guerdy came up on the scene, and they show Guerdy walking down that street in that beautiful red ensemble and that beautiful handbag. I'm not even a handbag guy. I don't even have a handbag. But I said Guerdy understood the assignment. Guerdy understood the assignment. That look, that hair, that lip, Guerdy looked gorgeous. And I know a lot of people do not love Guerdy, but Guerdy is stirring the pot as we love our housewives to do. We need someone to stir the pot. She's being the Lisa Barlow of the situation. She's a bone carrier. She learned from Sheree and was like, oh, I'm going to bring up the foot massage because we could have easily ignored that. Sidebar, I did see a scene where the producer that helps produce the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Portia's Family of Lies, where he interrupts the situation. Why is no one talking about what happened the night before? Again, this is what producers have to do because they have to keep these reality stars honest. So we see a lot of that coming into play with these reality shows. But anyways, back to Guerdy. Guerdy has a dinner with her husband, and she pretty much explains how their relationship works. They are opposites. Literally, she is running off at the mouth, and a lot of people talk about Guerdy being very flamboyant and always talking and sometimes talking over people. That's what makes for a great reality star, by the way. Someone with a big personality, someone that can bring the fashion, someone that can stir the pot. Guerdy can do that. Tara says, pot stir, giant spoon. That bag was giant. Can you imagine what she keeps in that bag? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Hold on. What are you guys saying? Okay. Yeah, because Noella wore a dress from one of the designers on Watch What Happens Live. I'm not sure what you guys are saying. I'm trying to read all the lives here. Diana says, why do I keep missing your TikTok? You got to turn on your notifications. You have to make sure your phone notifications are on, guys. And you have to make sure that your notifications on TikTok. And I know YouTube and TikTok fail when it comes to the notifications when you turn them on. But I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Join our texting community, even though I don't necessarily tell the texting community when I'm going live on TikTok. Okay. Oh, Suzette said Mauricio has lost the title of most handsome house husband. Go Guerdy. Look, I have to say, Mauricio in his heyday was very good looking. Definitely was one of the hottest house husbands in the franchise. But over the years, he's sort of let himself go. He sort of let himself go. And I'm not just talking about like weight or anything, just whatever was here. I don't know. I think he sort of lost it. But here's the thing. When you look at old pictures of Guerdy's husband, he was hot back in the day and he's aged so gracefully. But he's also very quiet. He's not great for reality TV. And I can see why their relationship works. I think he looks at Guerdy and almost loves that she's so flamboyant. Like I think he gets a kick out of Guerdy. And he also encourages her. And when she tells her, when she tells him about what happened with Adriana, he literally was just sitting there quiet and she's just talking. I mean, I don't know if I could have a friend like that. I mean, I do have friends like that talk and talk. And I'm just like this. Let me know when you're going to ask me how I'm doing. Deborah says he's too quiet. He might be too quiet for reality TV, but at least he's showing up for his wife. He knows that his wife wants to do this. First of all, Guerdy, she's doing, I see why she's a housewife. Speaking of housewives, why is Marisol not a housewife? Was she not bringing it during the season? I kind of missed Marisol. When we got to see Marisol and Alexia go out on that double date, I like Marisol. Why is Marisol not a full-time housewife? What's going on there? She adds such a light, funny energy. I don't get it. Adriana's also a friend of, not sure why. I always wonder the decisions behind this is because production is not interested in their story and they feel like they have enough, or is it because they weren't able to bring anything in regards to their storyline? Adriana, we don't get any personal life. We get a little bit of her dating, two guys at one time. I still don't think that her guy bats for her team. Or maybe that's wishful thinking. But I would love to see more of Marisol. I like her. I think she's so funny. I like how she is in the mix with the ladies. And I know we're going to get to see a little bit more of her next week, but we need a little bit more of her this week. Because she's funny. She's just naturally funny. I don't know. Maybe she was going through things and she didn't want to share it on camera. Who knows? Why was Alexia so damn late? I hate people that are very late. Alexia was so late for her double date. I like to see the house husbands too. I know that Marisol is married, right? But I know Alexia is not married yet. We'll talk about Todd in a second. Todd, my fellow Staten Islander that moved to Florida. Maybe I need to move to Florida. No, I don't. I would love to live in Alexia's apartment building. That apartment is gorgeous. The apartment that we saw in Sex and the City this week is not. I mean, okay, it was cute. Okay. But no, the apartment that Alexia has with the where the car meets you at your door, gorgeous. MBK says Todd seems to be a wonderful man. We'll get there. Look, we'll get there. And guys, let me know if you want me to drop the call-in link once we get to 100 likes. We are almost at 200 people. Be sure to like the videos, an easy and free way of supporting the channel. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. If you couldn't tell. If you couldn't tell from behind me, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. Back into what I was saying. So they have this, this double date. I like seeing Alexia and Marisol together too, because I feel like that's an authentic, real friendship. I like seeing real friendships and not forced friendships for the show. I want to see more of that. Seeing the guys interact, talking about a co-ed bachelor party. I think after a certain age, was Todd married before? I know he has kids, but was he married before? If he was married before, he doesn't need a bachelor party. They're grown. Who needs a bachelor party at 50-something years old? You already sold your wild oats. Just saying. Anyway. Can we talk about this OnlyFans tutorial? So as you know, the big thing that's been happening was Larsa is on OnlyFans, and the group has been talking about it, and they feel like she's doing more on OnlyFans than she's saying. So she has Adriana and Kiki over, who I love to see. We got to see Kiki's daughter as well come over, and she's giving them a tutorial on what to do. And the amount of shade that Larsa gave Adriana, I thought was hilarious. She was like, looking at your feet, I wouldn't be charging $200 for foot photos. I would charge $5. Thank you so much for all the gifts, reality TV clips of TikTok. Thank you so much for all the gifts. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Guys on TikTok, be sure to tap your screens as well. That's a great way of supporting and shooting out our video, our live video on TikTok. So Larsa, I agree. And then when the production editors shaded Adriana, like when you look at her Instagram, even though her Instagram right now looks a lot better, because I had to go look. I had to go look at Adriana's Instagram. It looks a lot better now, but the way they shaded her Instagram with the photos that she's posted, she's like, and let's be real, so many people last night when I was watching it live with you guys on TikTok, they were saying that, why does Adriana always look so damp, sweaty, and greasy? When she was shopping for that car, I was like, can somebody just take something to her face? Look, I love the fact that Adriana is not like, Lisa, where she's overdone with the fillers and the plastic surgery. I can appreciate that, but that doesn't mean that you have to look damp. Like right now, do I look damp? Look. Or greasy. She looked so greasy and her hair looked damp. Sidebar, when Lisa went out to lunch with Larsa, Lisa looked great. However, at one point, mind you, this is Miami, hot, humid. I believe in Miami, I believe in Florida, they have something called humiture, the humidity and temperature. I know I heard that a while ago. At one point, you look at, and who knows how long they were filming out there. I was like, damn, that humidity is getting to Lisa's hair. Is getting to her hair. But you know who's really aging well too? When I saw the scene with Adriana and Julia shopping for this car, I noticed, and it's perfect to have them side by side. Adriana looked like a sweaty mess, but Julia, someone else who's aging really gracefully, beautiful, just so elegantly beautiful. Anyways, I've jumped all around. Let me see. Who else am I loving this season? Oh, wait. So back to the OnlyFans tutorial. Do you think, in the chat, And for the replay crew, do you think Adriana should do OnlyFans? Did you like her feet? Would you pay for her feet? But now Kiki, Larsa was like, Kiki, you should do it. And then there was the big running joke because people were wondering, like, do your kids know that you're on OnlyFans? And then we were saying that it should be called Only Moms because they think it's maybe an adult site for, bikini photos and things like that. Well, now it kind of is because, they were making that change to OnlyFans in regards to the content they put up there because they wanted. I mean, I know they sort of backtracked on that. Damn, you guys are terrible. Y'all, Lilia said, hell no. K-Baby said no. Aria says, I love Guerdy. Me too. I think she knows what she's supposed to do. Ivy Girl says, nope. Kelly says, no to Adriana. But you guys think that Kiki should do it. I want to know a little bit more about Kiki. I know Kiki is a friend of, but she shows up all the time. She shows up more than Marisol. And I think Marisol would add a little bit more depth and comedy. I feel like Kiki, I think she's fun. I think she's great to look at, but there's not a lot of depth to Kiki. Let's be real. I need my Marisol. At least Marisol is gonna, have something in there. MBK says Kiki's she's like at everything, but where is Marisol? Nora says Kiki's boring. Shalay says, I like Kiki. I mean, I can't even say I like Kiki because I don't feel like we've gotten a lot from Kiki. That's true. Got a point. St. J brings up a great point. Hey, St. J. St. J says Kiki doesn't get confessionals or anything, which says to me, is she a Fallon? Is she just sort of there? She might be a Fallon. You know what I mean? Where you don't get a confessional, you just sign off a release. Maybe she isn't considered a friend of. That's a good point. Because at least with Marisol, we get confessionals, and Adriana, we get confessionals. Sidebar: did you guys see Adriana's new confessional look with the pink hair and the big bows? Adriana, all of your other confessional looks so much better. That one, what's going on with you? Who told you that looked good? St. J says, no, Kiki is a confirmed friend of. Well, they're not treating her like one. Antonia says, who's Kiki's baby daddy? I'm not even that interested. Maybe there'll be more, but we shall see. St. J says, Larsa's new confessional look slayed me. I don't know about that. You're being a little extra, St. J. I don't know about slayed. She looked a lot better, though. I don't know about Larsa. I think Larsa back in her heyday was a lot prettier than she is now. Maybe it's all of the work that she's had done, but I'm not loving the way Larsa looks this season. I'm being real with you guys. But I did like the conversation. I like the friendship that she's building with Lisa because, as you know, they've known each other for a few years at this point, but now they're hanging out, they're getting to know each other. And then we find out that, the reason why her and Scottie fell apart. And she pretty much says they grew apart. She wanted to do more things. He was moody. He probably still mad about that Michael Jordan documentary. And we just found out this week that their divorce was finalized. Remember, she didn't have a prenup, so she probably got half of everything. During the season, we're seeing her try to sell her the mansion that they shared together with their children. I didn't get a chance to read up. I don't know if they divulged what she ended up getting, but I'm thinking she got half of everything. Larsa's fine, and she's making so much money on OnlyFans. Just saying. Hold on. Ooh. Thank you so much, Mooney. Mooney says, hey, Kempire, after watching your videos, I'm super confused. How can you back up and support Heather Dubrow? How do I back up Heather Dubrow? Like, what the F? It makes no sense. That really says a lot, and I'm super disappointed. Okay. I don't know what you want me to say to you. I don't know how I backed up Heather Dubrow. You also realize that this is a reality show and we're recapping it. I don't know Heather. Just saying. But look, not everything, and I've said this just the other day on Twitter as well. We can still disagree and be friends. If we can't, then I wouldn't want to be your friend. Sorry. Just saying. Look, Peru says, not them coming for Kemp. You can come for me, but trust and believe you don't know what kind of Kempire you're going to get. Just saying. Exactly. Tara says, calm down. It's TV. And that's the thing here. And if you've been watching for a long time, then you understand we try to have fun. I know these streets, these YouTube streets, these Bravo streets can get very toxic. Not here. Not here. Okay. Anyways. Wait, I saw Beauty Within says Larsa's household sold for 10.5 million, not the 14 million Scottie wanted. Yeah, of course Scottie wanted that because he wanted to get more out of it in regards to, because he knew he was going to have to split half. Tony said, remember, he's Jamaican. Don't look. And my mother's a Scorpio. Don't play with me. K-Baby says Scottie and Larsa have been on and off for years. I remember when she dated Future. Yep, we all did. I mean, it seems as if they do have an amicable divorce. Hopefully, it will be an amicable divorce. I mean, it's already over, so I guess it is amicable. It hasn't turned into something ugly. It could have been an ugly divorce, especially because she's technically entitled to half of everything. There was no prenup. Just saying. All right. Back to some of the other details from this episode. Guys, you just joined us. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. Let me see what my TikTok chat is saying. Did I miss the new season airing? When was it and where? So the new season of the Real Housewives of Miami, this is episode 5. From what we hear, there are going to be 14 episodes. I believe they're also supposedly, were they on this week or they're supposed to be on next week? The cast of the Real Housewives of Miami on Watch What Happens Live. And I was like, I hope that's not the reunion, but I believe there will be an actual reunion. Alex. We don't do that on this channel. This is a calm place here when we voice our opinions and enjoy hearing everyone else's. Exactly. And we don't time out people that don't necessarily like what they have to say, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to respond. I don't respond to everything. And y'all know there's a lot I could respond to, but I don't. But I saw that and I was like, huh? I don't recall ever defending Heather Dubrow. I just said this week I hated her home. But if I did, I said what I said. Oh, thank you, St. J. Yeah, they were on Watch What. You know I don't watch that show, and apparently no one else does either. But we're supposed to be getting a reunion for the Real Housewives of Miami. So back to this episode, because I'm just going through the little parts. I have to say, the majority of this particular episode wasn't as entertaining as last week until we got to the end. I'm going to, I just want to make sure I don't skip over anything that I wanted to really talk about. So Adriana is still dating that guy that I don't think necessarily is into her. Okay. Alexia and Todd, they had a couple of scenes this episode. I really am not that interested in their relationship. I'm happy for Alexia if she's happy, because I feel like Alexia has been through a lot, very much like our girl Teresa from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, which comes back next month, y'all. February 2nd. No, February 1st. There we go. February 1st. That's what we were hoping for, February 2nd. February 1st, the Real Housewives of New Jersey are coming back. But Alexia's been through a lot. And she said, she's getting ready to get married to Todd, and she's trying to figure out how to get Todd and Peter in a better place. Speaking of Peter, if you missed it yesterday, I reported that Peter Rosello, Alexia's son, was arrested for a domestic violence situation. He has since paid bond in order to get out. It was like $1,500. He's being accused of slapping and kicking his girlfriend of 3 months in the apartment that they share. Again, I'm very confused. 3 months and you're sharing an apartment? Okay. So a lot of people were like, you know what? I'm not surprised by the Peter news. I think I'm team Peter. I think I'm team Todd when it comes to the fight between him and Peter, until we get to that scene at the end. When we get to the scene at the end, and I know I'm skipping over a lot of different things. Let me just make sure I'm not skipping over anything that I want to talk about. So Larsa, we already talked about Larsa breaking down and her divorce being finalized this week. But let's talk about the heated conversation between Todd and Peter. So we have a better understanding what happened with Peter and his brother Frankie. He must have given Frankie marijuanas, and he had an adverse effect. So that this comes up again. This conversation between Todd and between Todd, Peter, and Alexia was disturbing on many levels, and I have to break down what levels, because I don't think Todd was completely wrong, but I do think that Todd's way of saying it was wrong. I did not like the way that he spoke to Alexia or Peter, because this was like one of the rare times I saw Peter break down and cry. But I didn't like the fact that Tom was pretty much questioning Alexia's mothering. And anyone that's a mother, if someone was to question your mothering, you're going to be upset. Yes, Peter failed his brother in that particular moment, but do I think that he loves his brother? Yes. I didn't like the fact that they were arguing in front of Frankie, because although I think they believe Frankie is not fully aware of what's happening, which on some levels, maybe he's not, but you can still stress him out by being that way and arguing in front of him. I think he was aware that there was an argument happening, and that can't be good for him, because he can't express to you in that moment that he's concerned, that he's worried, that he's stressed. I think they should have removed him from that situation. Sidebar. When Todd and Peter were having the conversation by themselves and Alexia was off in a corner listening, I was like, this is such a real moment when you really think about it. Come on, couldn't y'all relate when there's an argument going on? Aren't you like around the corner just like listening? I was like, that was such a real moment. So the conversation gets a little heated. You can see that Peter is bothered by what happened with his brother Frankie, so much so that Alexia comes out. She's crying. She's hugging him. And it was one of the first times that I felt sorry for Peter. And I was just like, I don't think he wanted to hurt his brother. I do think he is entitled. I do think he's spoiled. But I honestly felt for him in that moment. And I felt like Todd's tough love was a bit too much. And then him switching and turning on Alexia, he's like, it's your fault. I feel like you guys aren't doing what you need to do for Frankie. And I honestly can see that. There are a lot of people that I know, because you also may know if you've been watching channel long enough, I used to work in the field of people with developmental disabilities. There are a lot of families that, first of all, don't have the resources, are maybe in a space of denial. And I saw that with Peter when Todd called Frankie disabled. He was like, don't call him that. So I think there is a level of denial that's going on with Alexia and Peter. And maybe that's part of the reason why there are certain things, therapies that Frankie needs that they have not implemented. I just feel like the way that Todd said it was too much. It was too much. It was too harsh, but we also have to remember he's from New York. We got a way of just telling things the way that they are. I just didn't like the way that he spoke to Alexia. I feel like there is another way that he could have spoke to Alexia. I also feel as if they got over that situation very quickly. I understand we're only getting to see 10 minutes of maybe like a 3-hour conversation or maybe an hour conversation. It just was kind of strange to kind of go from attacking both of them and then all of a sudden hugging. I was like, all right, not sure. Hold on, y'all. Wait. Coldest water bottle. I love my coldest water bottle. It's one of the ways that I stay hydrated. This mic is closer. And this is one of the ways that I stay hydrated here while I'm live doing this long recaps. Coldest water bottle comes in multiple colors, multiple sizes. Keeps your water cold for 36 plus hours. And you can get 10% off when you use the discount code KEMP. Bring it a little bit closer. Wait. Move it up. Ooh. Probably better. Here. There we go. There we go. Coldest water bottle. Get your coldest water bottle today. More information is available in the description of this video. Again, don't forget to use the discount code KEMP10. All right. Megan in my TikTok chat says, I wouldn't have married him if that's how he communicates with my children. Major red flag. And I agree. And, you know, one of the things that he said during the argument that I didn't like, he said, and I wrote this down specifically, he's not my son. Yes, literally, he's not your son. But the fact that the minute your question about helping, he's like, but he's not my son. That's not the way to get into this, because Frankie is going to be with Alexia for forever at this point. So he's going to be a part of this whole family situation. It's not like he's going, you know, he's 24 years old, but he's going to be with her forever. So the fact that you're saying he's not my son, yes, I'm sure there have been multiple times where Todd has come in and helped out, you know, as he should, because you're coming into a situation that's her child, and you know that's her child. And it's not like he's going to, you know, get out of there, get married, and leave the home. And that's not always the situation. There are people with developmental disabilities that do, but everyone's level of independence varies. And I'm not sure what Frankie's level of independence is. And I think this is where I do agree with Todd. Maybe he could eventually do something like that if he was getting the proper therapies. We don't know what those are, but based on what Todd's saying, he's not. And if someone like Peter is saying, don't call him disabled, I understand why you don't like that label, but are you guys not fully aware that he is disabled and that he needs a little bit more than what you might be giving him? And again, we don't know. We're just going by what Todd is saying. So we shall see. We shall see. Hold on, y'all. Let me drop the call-in link. Let me move that out the way. Let me drop the call link because I do want to hear what you guys have to say. If you just joined us, we are talking about the Real Housewives of Miami, which is available on the Peacock streaming app exclusively. They're not paying me, but they should. All right. Let's drop this here and go there. And let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay. Debbie says, who's to say that Alexia hasn't told Todd that he's not your son and he's now throwing it back in her face? Oh, good point. And that's the thing. That's the thing. We're only seeing a part of what's happened in this family. Remember that we haven't seen years of what's been going on. They've been together, I think, like 4 years. Courtney says, I bet Alexia said that before too, though. Not your son. And now it's got thrown back in her face. Shirley says, it's sad because Alexia needs a provider. Being a housewife and her sons will never be able to provide for her. So that loyalty has to transfer over to Todd. Real talk. Deborah says, that's why Peter is in the mess he's in right now. Stop treating him like a baby. I do think there is a level of enabling, and she even said that in this fight, that, you know, I'm his mom, so I am going to be a bit of an enabler. I do agree with that on some level. Is it right? No, because you can see what happens when you enable your child. But here's the thing. On some level, I get why she enables Frankie. Peter, not so much. Look, Peter, not so much. That is blowing up in Peter's face right now. Okay? Peter, right now. And I saw what you guys are saying. I know he's cute. He's cute. But don't forget about personality. He's cute. He slapped and kicked his girlfriend recently. Of 3 months. Red flag. Red flag. Run, girlfriend. Please do not run back into his arms. Just saying. All right. We already got quite a few people backstage. Tara says he's 29. I know he's grown. He's grown. Micah says, at least she knows and isn't in complete denial. But what if next time Peter does something worse to another person? Mind you, this is Peter's third time being arrested. At one point, he got into a fight with a homeless man. What in the hell? And then, I did a little deep dive. You know how Todd said that Peter's going to end up getting arrested like his father? And mind you, he just got arrested yesterday. And then it made me see another article on Peter's father who got arrested for drugs. I do not wish that for Peter. I hope Peter sees himself on television, even though this is his second foray into television. I hope he does better. I really do. I really, I always want people to do better. Just saying. Anyways, Lacey, I thought the same thing. Not a homeless man. He was arrested 2 other times. One was kicking a homeless man. Antonia says Peter has issues. He kept talking about shaving and wiping his brother's behind. That did at one point. I was like, why is he bringing that up? But I also think he's trying to make a point. I've been there for my brother as opposed to Todd. You get what I'm saying? As a brother. So I think that's why he kept on saying it. Look, we don't know their struggles. This is, we talk about caretakers. That also includes people that have family members that have developmental disabilities. That is a struggle. That's not easy. As someone that worked with people with developmental disabilities, I clock in for a period of time, but family members, that's 24/7. It's 24/7. All right, let's take a couple of callers, guys, and we're going to wrap this up. Don't forget, we will be live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern to do our Sex and the City reboot and just like that recap at 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget. Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, Kristen, I'm going to bring you up. Hold on one second. Let me just fix this, change this, move that. There we go. What's going on, Kristen?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
TGI Friday, right?
Thank God.
So, I really only want to talk about the Todd stuff, this fight, because I think a lot of people don't realize that we're seeing this brief glimpse into an argument that lasted so long, and of course, producers and editors are only going to show us the worst parts, because they have a narrative, they have a storyline. But the thing is that Peter is not Frankie's caregiver. He hasn't been.
Yeah.
And so him throwing out how he helped his brother, it's like, yeah, but how many times has he actually done that?
No.
And like the arrest for the, going up against the homeless man, which he beat that homeless man. That was in 2012. He was arrested the following year again. He kept his nose clean since then. And now he's had this domestic violence situation, which is awful. But honestly, I came out of this thinking that while Todd looked like he may have stuck his foot in his mouth, to me, I took his side. And because all I kept thinking in the back of my mind was I was looking at Peter as this spoiled man-child, and I'm watching it knowing he got arrested for this girlfriend, which for me, I just want to remind everybody that Alexia told us in that very first episode that Peter was living in Europe and he was married, and that marriage did not last even 1 year. And he came back to the US, back to mommy. But now he has this new girlfriend who he just beat up. So all I came away from watching this episode with is, what the hell did he do to his wife? That's all I could think. That literally clouded everything about the whole episode, even to the point where I didn't even turn my nose up at Larsa that much and her OnlyFans. Because I just kept thinking in my head, why did this guy leave Europe? Why did he leave Europe? What happened? So for me, I think that Todd is saying, he's not my son, which I agree that Alexia's probably pointed that out numerous times. But who's taking care of Frankie? Todd. Where's Frankie living? Todd's house.
Todd's house.
Well, they're living with Todd, whether it's his house or not. They're living together. So I'm kind of watching this and thinking, okay, I get it. Peter is Alexia's son, but he is almost 30 years old. She has bailed him out over and over again. And now, there's this other situation that's happening. And we already know that he gave his brother an illegal substance, which why would you give him that? Like, he has developmental issues, or maybe it's from his car accident. I don't know, because I don't know how he was before. But why would you drug him? Because that's effectively what he did. I don't think it was an adverse reaction. I genuinely think that Peter did it on purpose, because he seems like that person. Maybe, he was supposed to keep an eye on his brother or hang out with his brother. I don't know. But I genuinely think that Peter has some serious anger issues, and he has some serious issues towards his mother and his brother both. And I think he's dangerous. And that's what I took away from this. Todd taking a stand saying Peter is the problem here. That's what I took away from it.
Todd, he wasn't just saying Peter was a problem. He was accusing Alexia of being the problem.
I don't think he's attacking Alexia as so much as saying that he's attacking her because of how she is with her sons. Because she has enabled Peter, and look at how he behaves, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, I didn't watch it before, and I didn't catch the things about it. So, like, I wasn't paying that much close attention to a lot of the episode because I had other things going on. But when I was watching it, all I kept in the back of my head was knowing that he got arrested for abusing a woman. Yeah. And I read the in detail report of what happened, and what he did to her was horrific. I mean, he didn't, and I don't mean horrific as in like just how he physically hurt her. I mean, the fact that, think of what he said to her. And then can you imagine what would have happened to her if the neighbor had not taken her into a place of safety and called for police? Yeah. That's what was in my head watching this episode, is what he was willing to do to a woman because he was angry. What would he do with his brother when he was fed up? Yeah. What would he do to his mom? I mean, I just don't see him having respect for anyone except for himself. So that was all.
Kristen, we appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys, if you just joined us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Miami. I'm going to bring up Miss Brooklyn. Miss Brooklyn's on camera. What's going on, Miss Brooklyn?
I got to work on the lighting.
Miss Brooklyn, wait, are you done with work?
No, I'm still working. So hopefully my phone won't ring. Yeah, I'm on camera and made up because I had some Zoom meetings today. So it's like, wait, I got to do my hair and put the makeup on. Wait a minute. Not good.
Well, we love to see you. What are your thoughts on this episode?
I'm going to try and make this really, really quick. The Larsa, Kiki, Adriana. Adriana used to be very, very beautiful. I mean, she had some skin problems from before, if I recall, but even with that, besides, she was beautiful. I don't know what she did, because it's not like the plastic surgery Lisa went through. I don't know if her divorce took a toll on her or something, but she's not that glowy, beautiful woman that she used to be.
I mean, she's glowy, just not in the right way.
Yeah. That was low. So yeah, Larsa is playing us all for a fool to say her kids don't know what OnlyFans is about. Come on, your kids, your sons are damn near grown and your daughter is halfway there. They know what is going on OnlyFans. They've been on OnlyFans. So
well, at least the older ones.
So let's get real with that. Guerdy and her husband, I forgot his name. I'm loving it. I fell out when she said, I knew you were a keeper when you were picking my weave. I was like, see, there you go. A man who lets you lay on his lap while he got the pick in the hand, picking out your weave, and know it's a weave, and still, they're a cute couple. I love them. I think he understands her like a lot of, I would say, West Indian women. Sometimes you get upset or you get stuff in you and you've just got to have a moment of verbal diarrhea and get it all out. before you can process. So he knows to sit back, let her talk, let her run her steam, and then we can come back and have a conversation, a sensible conversation.
Yeah.
That was that. With everything that's going on with all these housewives and the lawsuits, and now Peter owes money to the IRS and is Cynthia involved. Once again, I will say that is why Nicole is smart and not marrying that man. Do what you want, but when they come for the money, my money is mine. She went through this as a kid. She watched her mother go through it. I get it. 100%.
I'm loving her this season.
I like her. I don't, I know people think she's boring and everything, but I don't need everybody to be on 1,000. Sometimes I just want you to be on 50 and just be.
But she has a real storyline coming up. I know we briefly talked about it, her and her father, and why she hasn't been in communication with her father. But next week, her father shows up for a meeting, and he's drunk.
Yeah. So I like her, and I get it. It makes sense. It really makes sense. Peter, Todd, Frankie, Alexia. We got to remember, we only see a piece of a situation, and we don't know how long this conversation has been going on and what the backgrounds are. But from what I heard from Todd, I don't believe the story that Alexia told about the Mary Jane, trying to be PG on your platform. The way Todd was speaking, that wasn't the only time Peter did it, because Todd said something along the lines, I'm going to paraphrase, like you use your brother as a guinea pig, like you drug him to see what would happen. So I get the impression that this wasn't the first time that Todd has been called, and because he said, I've come to pick him up when he had blood all over his face, vomiting in the street. Like, he was listing a couple of things. So I get the impression that wasn't the first and only time, that there's a series of things that have gone on with the way Peter has done Frankie, and that Todd has become frustrated with Alexia not protecting Frankie the way she needs to from Peter and the things that he's doing. And the whole, he's not my son, in the context of the conversation that they were having, he was saying to her, you're not doing for Frankie, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And then she said, well, what are you doing? And his response is, that's not my son. I'm not required to do anything. Not that that's not my son, I'm not doing anything for him, but that's not my child to be required to do anything. You're required to do stuff, and you're not. Peter needs therapy. Peter needs to hit rock bottom. I think Peter's an addict. Peter has anger issues. There's something going on in Peter's background, and I really want to, again, I want to research. I didn't have the time on Frankie's accident, because I'm wondering, something is in my mind that maybe Peter had something to do with that accident, and maybe there's something going on, some guilt or something going on in the background. So I kind of want to research that and see if I'm right, or if I'm, I could be off base. But Alexia has to let Peter hit rock bottom and just figure it out for himself, because he's on a long path. I've had family members that I've dealt with this with. He's on the wrong path, and it won't get any better if you keep saving him. It drains you, and they become more and more and more and more entitled, and thinking that somebody's always going to save them until they come up against the wrong person. And then there's no saving at all. But that's my take on it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brooklyn, for calling in. Have a great weekend.
You too. Talk to you later.
Bye. Guys, if you just joined us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. If you're watching the recap of this, I want to know your thoughts. How would you rate the episode? What did you think of that heated conversation that happened between Alexia, Todd, and Peter? St. J's backstage. I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, St. J?
Hey, Kempire. How's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
It's going good. Okay, so I want to start with, I really love Larsa on the show. Like, She doesn't give much of anything besides the fact that I think she's really pretty, but I really love Larsa on the show.
She doesn't give much of
Okay.
anything much besides that she's really pretty. Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hey. Okay, at least I'm honest about it. Okay, so Nicole, I okay, so overall, I just feel like with the reboot, they added the new ladies in, but we don't get nearly as much of them as we do the returning ladies. So it seems like they're all falling flat to me.
Oh,
5 episodes in, that's my opinion.
okay.
Um, so Nicole, I think she has a great story there, but like it just is so many episodes of just um with Nicole not getting married, she did say that they both were divorced before. So there's that. But when I was doing my Googling, I couldn't really figure out how her partner has so much money.
Oh, damn.
Like the job she said he had,
He's an attorney.
he has, yeah, but he's not like Leah Black's husband, a criminal defense attorney to celebrities. Like he's an attorney.
Mhm. But he looks
So
like he
it
also
just
dabbles in real estate. Because she also mentioned at the top of the season that they've bought and sold a lot of their homes, and now they're thinking about selling the current home that they're in. So I mean, real estate can make you a lot of money.
I mean, it can, but
No,
is that
or
you
what
took
St.
real
J
estate
said.
from that? You took real estate from that because I took something else, but I won't make that accusation on here. um,
Okay.
because
Because
Dorit
God
and
forbid,
PK move
Nicole
every season.
Nicole does not need this to happen to her. She had this happen to her when she was a kid. She doesn't need the criminal activity now.
I'm gonna just leave that at Dorit and PK try to move every season too.
But they don't own the homes.
I mean, now they do.
Which one?
Dorit owns the house. Her
No, she
name's on
does
it. She bought
not.
it.
They
Her
do
name is
not.
on it. I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Okay, so Adriana did look very moist. I was watching Watch What Happens Live, and Julia said Adriana called me to come be her, like, we're friends. She called me to come do the show with her. So I'm actually really interested on how she became the housewife and Adriana became the friend, like how that
Mm.
switched. I love seeing Marisol. I think she's really funny. I love her as a friend only. Alexia. I feel like Todd and Peter are very similar.
Mm.
That was my takeaway from that whole argument. It seemed like two of the same people fighting with each other. I actually did think Peter was going to get up and strike him. I was watching and I was like, oh, okay, wow. But I also felt like Todd was trying to provoke that type of reaction out of Peter.
Mm.
Like when he mentioned Peter's dad in jail and his, stepfather that was no longer with us. He was trying to provoke Peter.
Okay.
So I'll give it to Peter that there is some level of growth there, that he didn't just attack Todd like we saw him attack that cameraman in the original series.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Alexia probably does enable them. I do feel like moms do have a level of enabling. Maybe she takes it a little far, but she's the only parent they have. So I think that she goes above and beyond and that to try to be understanding.
Okay.
And I just hate overall with that whole fight. I hated that Frankie was there for that fight.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been I would have been more okay with it had Frankie not been sitting, I don't know, 50 feet away.
Yeah, and observing.
And just like, what's going on? Also, that's Alexia's condo.
I figured as much. That was her. I mean, look, she's had money. She was married to money, inherited money. So
yeah, that is Alexia's condo.
So he's in her house.
There, her house, yes. But also, I felt it was, and this is my end conclusion. I felt it was inappropriate for Todd to one part say, you guys should do more. And then when she asked him and he was like, that's not my child, I think that he obviously has, you know, specific needs and he needs assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And you're marrying this woman and you know that he's going to be a part of your family for life.
Yep.
So I felt like that was a wrong stance to take.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, he's also a New Yorker, and sometimes we don't mince words. We kind of just come out with it instead of maybe sugarcoating it a little bit more.
And I will say that in relation to what the ladies say, Larsa is definitely not showing anything more than those feet on OnlyFans. I know. I did the research.
That's not what I heard. Someone else did the research and they said there's more. Maybe you haven't bought her
I
little
mean,
messages.
the messages are flirty. They are, but it's only feet and bikini pictures. And duck lips. Lots of duck lips.
I can't stand you. Why are you subscribed
Thanks
to
for
our
having me,
OnlyFans? I can't.
Listen, Larsa, I can't explain. I can't put it in words.
Apparently. All right, St. J, thank you so much for calling in. You're a mess.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Oh my God. What is wrong with St. J? Guys, if you just joined us, we are talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. That's available on Peacock. If you're watching the replay, I do want to hear your thoughts on the episode. So be sure to let me know in the comment section. And guys, don't forget to join our texting community at textkempire.com. That way you can drop me tea. And also where I break breaking news to you as well. Mocha, I'm going to bring you on up. What's going on, Mocha?
Hi, Kempire.
How are you? What time is it
I'm
there?
good. It's literally 8 a.m. I just woke up and caught you.
Oh my God. Okay, thoughts on this episode?
Okay. First, I just want to quickly touch on Nicole with her mom. Like, it's so sweet, and I totally get it. But as a child who's been told I should go talk to my father, I feel Nicole's pain. Like, we're still the kids that, till the day our parents are gone, we're still their kids.
Yeah.
And if we've always chased them and they're not chasing back, then when do we call it quits? So I could see her frustration with that. And I understand, like, why when she brought it up to her partner, that she was like, really? Like, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, situation around Frankie, because that's what it was. It was around him. A part of me, because I'm disabled, I've grown up around disabled people, and the worst thing you can do is not ask for our opinion. Like, if we are coherent enough and able enough to give you an answer, you should be asking us what we need. And it really, like, upset me to watch Frankie. Like, you could see he knew what was going on. He knows enough to know.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's been through some stuff, but he's got a clear idea. Like, he didn't even see his mum. His mum wasn't even, tears weren't even in her eyes yet. And he grabbed her. Like, I've got you, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry. So, he's obviously a lot more aware than what we're being shown.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone says, it is a TV show, there is editing involved. But not once did any one of those three ask him, like, how can we help you, and what do you feel about these things?
Yeah.
You know, like, and as someone who's been through that, like, I only need a mild bit of care. But even still, like, it's frustrating when people make your choices for you. So the fact that they didn't ask him, like, it really upset me, because he's 24. He clearly understands enough to know what's going on around him. And not one person at that time during this conversation about him could ask him. You know, and that's really sad, because a lot of people who are disabled, like, not everyone has the chance to say what they want to say, or that, like, can physically do things. And Frankie, like, it looks like he clearly wants to just be an average person, which he is.
Yeah.
He has a few setbacks, but he can still do stuff. So I think, like, in one way, Todd was right. I think his delivery completely sucked.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit aggressive, a bit harsh,
Yeah.
but like it made sense. And as for Peter, like for what we know, like how we don't know how much he's given up as a young man, a young child, and when it comes to his brother, and like
When
I
Todd
don't know,
wasn't there.
yeah, and like I don't know, maybe I'm more sympathetic than other people, but like all I see when I look at Peter is like a young man who's broken. Like, you know, it's just sad because you don't, you know, like when somebody's broken, how do you help someone who don't want to help themselves?
Mm.
You know, and then you got, and then like you compare the two brothers, it's like Frankie looks like he's more well adjusted and has a good perspective on life,
Mm.
and he's been through so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just really like to me, it just seemed like nobody was really listening or taking into account other people's views, and it was just a lot of finger pointing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be that. And like, should they have spoken like that in front of Frankie? Like, had a big row? Probably not. But at the same time, he's 24. Like, at some point, you got to start treating people like adults,
Yeah.
even if they do have some things that set them back in life, because for all you know, they want to have the most normal, best life ever.
No.
And as a disabled person, we can. So, yeah, thank you, Kempire.
Of course, Mocha. Thank you so much for calling in, and good morning.
No worries.
Bye. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, we are talking about, of course, the Real Housewives of Miami. But be sure to check out some of the things that you missed, including Mary Cosby not showing up to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. And maybe she's not coming back for season 3. Be sure to check out that video. And also Peter Thomas, there we go. Peter Thomas owes $450,000 in taxes. And why is Kimora Lee getting backlash on Twitter? Be sure to check out every single thing that you've missed so far this week here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent content. And if you've been watching for this long, we're already over an hour, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. So thank you to you. And thank you, of course, to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com. Dr. Payne is here. Dr. Payne, are you ready? Dr. Payne, what is going on? Gorgeous.
Hi, Kempire. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to call in. I'm actually hiding an X-ray just to be able to talk to you. It's a good thing, you know, COVID going on. I could use the break. I love this show, you guys. I live here in Miami.
Ooh.
I don't live around any of these fancy people, right? I live in regular part of Miami. But I absolutely love the show, and thank you, Kempire. You like lift me during the holidays, my friends and I, which we're usually busy. We're like, did you see Kempire today? And that's like a topic of our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for being you, and I just can't wait to see your channel grow and for the world to appreciate you like all of us, and you to get your flowers, as they say. So when it comes to this show, I really love it. I have 2 special needs kids at home, and so I'm kind of like Mocha, who just called. He feels like Frankie knows more and is well aware. He's still a young man inside with his disability. He's still a young man. And I hate that whole argument happened in front of him. However, he can take some of it. Something's wrong with Peter, y'all. And I know you guys think we what do you call it, baby him or whatever. Something else is wrong. I see something else. I see substance, of course, maybe there's some substance issues there, but I see something else. I don't know what it is. And true, he wasn't, he maybe was a brat before, but there's something going on there. And I don't know what it is, but I'm seeing something and it's super sad. I think Alexis fears losing him. And what he did to his girlfriend, oh my goodness, that's horrible. But there's something not right about that kid, and I'm not trying to make him a bad boogeyman or something. There's some stuff going on. God, I thought Todd was kind of harsh. I'm like, ooh, Alexis, are you sure? I think I'd rather work.
She married him though. She already did.
I know, right? I know you want that rich husband, but ooh, give me a job any day. I'm scared of that kind of funky behavior. I love everybody. Even Larsa has grown on me. And at first I was like, why would you want an OnlyFans? You already have the rich husband. The OnlyFans girls want a rich husband, but okay. I like her though. I like everybody except not actually I like Julia. I like it's the other people I don't like. So anyway, so
What other people? Which ones?
yeah. It was un momento para los tacos.
Sí, sí, sí. Oh, sorry.
Ah, bueno. I'm sorry, Kempire. I'll hear my Spanglish. I like Alexis. Alexis, is that right?
Yeah, Alexia.
Yeah, I love her. She's gorgeous. And I love the beautiful planner, Giselle. What's her name? Not Gabby, not Kiki. The beautiful one
There's a
with the
few
firefighter
people.
husband. The
Which one?
firefighter husband.
Oh, Guerdy.
Guerdy. I like Guerdy. She's a bit awkward, but I like her. And she was trying too hard, but I think that's the producers feeding in her ear. But I like her. Kiki's okay. And Marisol's my favorite. And I don't hate any of them. I just mostly love your great reviews. So that's it.
Thank you so much, and get back to work. No,
Okay, I know, right? Just when I want to be with Kempire, these people. Okay, thank you.
I appreciate what you do. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. We have such a variety of listeners. She's out there saving lives. And then she's throwing the Spanish in. I was like, oh shoot, where'd that come from? Go ahead, girl. I love it. I need to move to Miami. No, I was just talking with one of my friends about Florida. I was like, I don't know. Shout out to everyone I know in Florida. I know it's not you guys. It's your governor. It's your governor. Anyways, guys, that is our recap of the Real Housewives of Miami. We will be back next week. We probably will be doing our recap earlier. Just look, I was shoveling. We got our first few inches of snow here in New York City. Shoveling earlier, had appointments, but we will be doing our recaps earlier for the Real Housewives of Miami in the early afternoon during your lunch breaks. But also, don't forget at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight, we will be doing our And Just Like That recap. So be sure to set your reminders. The link is already available. Shout out to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sends in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel any way that you can. Also by liking the video, viewing the video. Thank you to everyone in my TikTok chat, those watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We appreciate you guys. And a thank you to everyone in the live chat here on YouTube. And of course, thank you to my moderators for us to have a fun, open conversation, even when you don't agree with me and you think I'm defending Heather Dubrow. We can all disagree and still be friends. If you don't want to be my friend, you don't have to either. Guys, let's get our vibes up. It's Friday. Happy Friday. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern for another recap. And I think we might do a live tomorrow I share way too much.